Welcome to another episode of the AA Sports Podcast. My name's Art, here with my brother Alex.
What's going on, guys? Going on?
Thank you guys for tuning into our first YouTube episode, which was Ryan Garcia versus Luke Campbell. If you haven't watched it, go back and check it out. It's our first video on the channel. If you're listening to the podcast of this, thank you for downloading this podcast. So today we're going to be going over the NFL wildcard weekend. This year's going to be a little bit different. There's only one bye week this year, which is interesting compared to the two bye weeks per conference that we had before. We only have one bye week per conference. It'll be the Chiefs for the AFC, the Packers for the NFC. They'll be waiting for the lowest remaining seed to play next weekend. So we're going to start off. We'll go matchup by matchup. We'll give you guys a little info on the game. And then I'm going to be placing some bets on each game. I'll probably parlay the Saturday games and then parlay the Sunday games just to kind of lock in the pick, so to say. And then I'll keep you guys updated on how we did on our picks. So let's get started. First game, you can see Alex has his jersey on. The Indianapolis Colts are traveling to Buffalo to take on the Buffalo Bills. This will be Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1:05 Eastern time on CBS. The Colts are 7-point underdogs as of this morning. We're recording this on Thursday. So as of this morning, 7-point underdogs. Talk to me real quick, Alex, about the Colts and what they need to do to win.
You know what? I think for the Colts to win this game, I think we're going to have to keep our foot on the gas from the moment that game starts to the end of the game. I feel like the Colts get torched when they go into that cover two shell. They kind of play that zone defense and we start getting carved. So if you look back in that Steelers game, we look like one of the best teams in football in that first half.
Yes.
And it's kind of been like that the entire season. It's been, okay, well, is the defense going to play good in the first half or is the defense going to play good in the second half? There's been several times that's happened. So I think our best chance to win, keep our foot on the gas and don't let up at all. Don't go into that cover two shell. I think play man defense and bring the pressure. I don't care if we get burned on a couple of big plays. I think it comes with it, but I think we need to do that because I think if we stay in the zone, guys like Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, they're just going to carve us.
So is that what you're most worried about, the Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs combo? Because they've been on fire these last couple games.
Yeah, their running backs can't really do anything. And they have some good young wide receivers. I mean, they have Cole Beasley, who's more of a safety blanket.
Slot guy, yeah.
Yeah, Stephon Diggs has been just tearing it up this year. He's got guys like Isaiah McKenzie, John Brown that's coming back this game. So he's got Dawson Knox, who he looks to in the red zone. So I mean, he's got some good weapons on that offense.
For me, I think the big key is going to be, like you said, the Colts keeping on the gas, but that offensive line for the Colts against the Bills' defensive line. We saw Jonathan Taylor go off for 250 yards last week in a must-win game. We've seen him have great games. We've seen Nyheim Hines have some big games. So I think that offensive line for the Colts is probably their strongest asset.
Right.
That they give time to Phillip Rivers to throw. They give time for Phillip Rivers to throw the ball, but they also create holes for Jonathan Taylor and Nyheim Hines to run. So I think that's something very important that I'm gonna be looking at in this Colts-Bills game. Colts are 7-point underdogs. Would you take a bet on the Colts?
Definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I know because you're a fan, but I would take the Colts +7.
Well, what do you want me to say? That I'm not going to bet on my team?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just asking the question. I'm going to take the Colts +7. If they do lose, I think it's going to be a close game. But I think the Colts running game is what's going to keep this game close. Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, they're great great offense, great combo, but the Colts have shown to have a good secondary. So it's going to be a really good matchup. This is probably the best matchup, I think, of a wild card weekend.
I really hope that Jonathan Taylor can get going and
that Frank Reich doesn't go away from the run.
Yeah, just tell me about it, man. There's times where Jonathan Taylor is doing so good. He's got in the first half he'll have 13 carries, God knows how many yards, and then in the second half he just has 2 carries. Carries, what are you doing?
They do get a little pass happy in the second half with Phillip Rivers, but I think that comes with it. I think having a good run game, it's establishing the pass and making the defense respect your quarterback also, so they don't load up the box.
And I think also with them being able to run the ball, they're gonna have a chance for Josh Allen not to be on the field. So
correct. They'll
keep that offense off the field.
Yes. So I'll be locking in a Colts +7 pick this weekend. Moving on to the next game on Saturday.
Good job.
Well, I mean, if they lose in a close game, I still win the bet. So that's at 1:40 p.m. Pacific, 4:40 Eastern time on Fox, the Rams will be traveling to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. This is the 3-5 matchup, I believe, in the NFC. We got the Jokic just hit a shot to tie it and send it to overtime. We're watching the Mavericks Nuggets game as we're recording. The Rams are 3.5-point underdogs headed to Seattle. Jared Goff is the big question here. Okay. I read that Jared Goff is ready to play if needed. Well, I don't know what that means because he's the freaking starter. So
that's not what I've been hearing.
Okay. What have you been hearing, or what did you read?
I've been hearing that who's that backup? Seinfeld?
Warford?
Warford?
I think that was his name.
Wilfred? I guess Wilfred's going to start. That's what they were saying. I mean, all I know is this. If they start Wilfred and Jared Goff is going to ask for a trade. I don't see it. I don't see why in God's tarnation they would start, or why that's even being brought up.
Well, because he just had thumb surgery.
Jared Goff?
Yeah.
Well, I don't care what you have. This is a playoff game. You need to give your team the best chance to advance.
Okay, well, a thumb surgery Goff is better than Warford?
Listen, if Warford was any good, he would be starting and not Jared Goff.
Yeah, but I mean, I think
if Warford was any good, he would be starting.
Well, yeah, but the thumb injury happened at a bad time. So I'm guessing they're going to play it cautious, but I think that, if Goff doesn't, and I feel like this line right here that we're looking at is because they're projecting Goff to be the starter. I don't think he starts or he even plays much.
I think they can give him some type of injection or something like that.
Well, yeah, they're going to try, but I mean, it's his throwing hand. The cortisone shot is usually for it to go numb. Like, you need your hand to throw the ball. You can't have your hand numb.
I guess
so. That's something to look out for if Jared Goff is on the field. If he's not, I can see the Seahawks defense feasting, because we saw the Rams struggle against the Cardinals. Sure, they put up enough points to win the game, but it was a struggle. The Cardinals could have easily won if Kyler Murray was healthy, which he wasn't. But yeah, this game I think is still up in the air. 3.5 points. I would take Seattle, and I would take them right now because I feel like if it comes out that Goff isn't going to play, the line is just going to swing towards Seattle big time.
I think Seattle's going to win regardless anyway, even if Jared Goff does start or if he's good to start. Yeah,
that's a good point. I think Goff makes it a little closer, but yeah, like you said, if he's whether he's in or out, I think the Seahawks are also going to win. Any last thoughts on this game? What about Russell Wilson? Like, we didn't even talk about the Seahawks, but we just know Russell Wilson. Who do you think will have a better game, DK Metcalf or Tyler Lockett? Because Jalen Ramsey last time, I think he shut down DK Metcalf.
I'm going to go with DK Metcalf.
Even against Jalen Ramsey?
I'm gonna go with Tyler Lockett. Nah, forget. I mean, Jalen Ramsey just he absolutely destroyed Metcalf in that first meeting. And Metcalf didn't do anything, and Metcalf was on a tear.
Yeah.
Leading up to that game. So Ramsey must be the real deal.
Ramsey is the real deal. When he shows up to play, he can shut down anybody. So he's definitely I think the top corner in the league, or at least the top three or four. All right, moving on. Buccaneers going to Washington to take on the Washington football team. This is the first time Tom Brady enters the playoffs as a wild card.
Really?
Yeah. He's always been a division winner, so he's always hosted the first playoff game. This time he's going on the road to take on the Washington football team. The Buccaneers are 9-point favorites, which is a huge line there. Do you think, or what are you looking at in this game? Do you think Washington has a chance to beat the Buccaneers?
I think they do because of their defensive line. They're just able to bring so much pressure, but I mean, the Buccaneers, I think they're clicking on all cylinders right now. Mm-hmm. So they're going into this game with a lot of momentum.
Yep.
And I don't know if the Washington football team is going to have enough to stay in it. I mean, enough to pull away.
Enough firepower.
And at the end of the game. I mean, from what I saw from the Washington football team against your Eagles, I felt like Antonio Gibson didn't have that burst that he usually does. And I feel like he's a big playmaker. Terry McLaurin was pretty silent in that game too. Didn't really do much. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think the Buccaneers are going to be able to have more firepower, and I think they're going to be able to edge out this game. What about what do you think?
I think the Buccaneers can run away with this one.
Yeah. I mean, I wish the Washington football team could win because it'd be great for Alex Smith.
Smith and dude, Chase Young has grown on me. To be, he's definitely one of the top defensive linemen in the league.
And it's crazy because when he got drafted, we were looking at him like, man, this guy's a defensive end, and he
didn't look as big.
I don't know if it was because we were used to or maybe we just weren't used to seeing him, but now it looks like he's even bigger.
He grew, yeah.
Yeah, it looked like he grew.
He got thicker. And he's just amazingly fast. He's just so good at what he does. Chase Young against Donovan Smith, who's the Buccaneers left tackle. That's going to be a great matchup to watch. It's Tom Brady's blind side, So Tom Brady's he's going to have to get rid of the football quick. He's got Antonio Brown, Chris Godwin. Mike Evans is questionable, but he might not play. He got hurt 2 weeks ago, week 16, I think.
Really?
Yeah. So he might not play, but I think he's officially listed as questionable today as we're recording this.
I highly doubt that.
What?
Mike Evans is going to play.
Okay.
I think he has to. If not, Tom Brady will have a fit.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he's got Godwin, Antonio Brown, and Rob Gronkowski to throw to. So, I mean, he'll still have weapons, but yeah, Mike Evans is definitely a big time help, even if he's just out there as a decoy. I'm going to take the Washington football team +9. I don't think the Buccaneers blow them out the water. I think they keep it a close competitive game, but in the end, I think the Buccaneers win. But I will take Washington plus the 9 points because that's a really big spread. This game is on Saturday night, 8:15 Eastern, 5:15 Pacific on NBC. Moving on to the Sunday games. 3 games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday. We got the Ravens going to Tennessee to play the Tennessee Titans, who ended up winning the AFC South. The Ravens are favorites on the road, 3.5 point favorites, I believe. What do you think of Baltimore being favored going to Tennessee?
You know what? I didn't agree with that. But
me neither.
That's just me. From what I've seen from the Ravens in the playoffs, they just cannot get it done. They kind of just fall apart, and we're gonna have to find out: is Lamar Jackson is he ever gonna live up to what he is portrayed to be?
Yeah, and
that MVP type quarterback. Because I mean, last year he was MVP all year, and then goes to the playoffs and he stunk it up. What was it? The year prior to that one, Was that when they lost to the Chargers? Lamar Jackson?
Yes.
Okay. So, I don't know. Do you think he's going to be able to put that in the back of his head?
Well, it's funny because this is the matchup that knocked out Lamar Jackson last year.
That's what I'm
The
saying.
Titans. Mike Vrabel's got a great, a well-coached defense in Tennessee. And, Lamar Jackson, we've seen him at times this year struggle.
Right.
Bad on offense.
Especially early in the season.
Yes, early in the season. Not able to throw the ball. Trying to rely on his legs too much. And teams knew he couldn't throw the ball. And his receivers couldn't get open. So it was just focused on stopping Lamar Jackson. Now, towards the end of the season, Baltimore started getting their rhythm on offense. That could be the difference. But I feel like Tennessee will have an answer for Lamar Jackson and will force him to make those good throws. And he's been making them, but in this game, I don't think it'll be as easy. I think Tennessee's defense will hold down Lamar Jackson and really make it difficult for him.
Do you think Derrick Henry will be able to have a big game?
That's what I was about to bring up right now. Derrick Henry's going to get his. Him 100-yard rushing is like automatic now. The big key in this game will be Tannehill. Tannehill completing passes to A.J. Brown and Corey Davis. We saw Corey Davis come back to life towards the second half of this season.
Not that he had a life before that one, because he was pretty quiet.
Last year he was really quiet, but the year before he was actually pretty good.
Yeah, okay.
He was with Mariota when they had Mariota a quarterback. He was not bad, but last year he just completely disappeared. Yeah. So this year he's bringing it back. He's been producing, helping out A.J. Brown on that other side. But Jonnu Smith has also been a big piece of this offense that has helped out Ryan Tannehill. So I'm going to take the Titans to win. I'm surprised at the Ravens being favored by 3.5. Even like if you just take the straight money, it's almost even money. But I would take the Titans straight up to win this game.
Sounds good.
You taking the Titans?
Yeah, I was taking the Titans as well.
Okay. Moving on to the Moving on to the afternoon game. Oh God.
Don't worry, I got you, man.
Afternoon game, we got the Chicago Bears headed to New Orleans to take on the New Orleans Saints. This is happening on CBS, on Nickelodeon, and on Amazon.
You told me about that one. How come they're having games on Nickelodeon?
I guess they're trying to interact with the younger audience.
Really?
They'll be having like slime graphics and things like that. No, graphics, not real slime on the field. But.
No. Well, of course, I know real slime on the field. God damn it, man.
I guess they're going to have like a halftime show for whatever they can do. I might check it out. I might watch it with the kids. See if they like it.
I mean, I don't really watch any game where the Bears are playing.
That's true, but we'll be watching this one. The Bears are 10-point underdogs going to New Orleans, which is expected. Alvin Kamara will be activated, and he tweeted that we will see him Sunday. He tweeted, quote, "See y'all Sunday." So it looks like Kamara will be playing. Okay. Any matchups you're looking at in this game?
As far as matchups go, I want to see the Bears defense and the Saints offense. How are the Bears going to stop them? I feel like the Saints just have too many weapons, and I feel like the Bears, their only strength is their defense. I feel like Mitchell Trubisky is I don't know what Mitchell Trubisky is. Sometimes he's good and sometimes he's bad.
I think Matt Nagy, the coach, has a lot to do with it. I feel like when he coaches to either Trubisky's strengths or to Nick Foles' strengths, the quarterbacks are able to produce. But then he kind of gets away from that, and he has to kind of, bring that back together. But he's been doing a good job with Trubisky at the end of the year. Made that little push to stay in the playoffs as a wild card. I'm really looking forward to Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack getting pressure on Drew Brees. We know the Saints offense can be very creative and can take the pressure off of Drew Brees, but I think Khalil Mack putting pressure on Drew Brees is going to cause the ball to come out a little quicker. Kamara is going to feel going to get a lot of check down work. And, I don't think there's going to be those big plays that we're used to seeing from the Saints. We haven't seen them this year. It's been a lot of Kamara this year.
Right.
Saints plus 10. Saints minus 10 looks intriguing, and I think I would take that. I think the Saints can win this by more than 10. I just don't think the Bears offense has enough. I mean, Allen Robinson is legit as they come. He's a free agent. I'm glad he's a free agent. Hopefully he goes to a team that's pretty damn good because he's been with the Jaguars and now with the Bears. He's too good to be on these type of teams. Yeah. So definitely looking forward to him going somewhere else. But I think the Saints defense is good enough to keep the Bears at a low point total. So I would take the Saints minus 10. You're taking the Saints?
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to the last game.
I'll take Sunday it from night. Here.
Okay, go ahead.
Is the game at 5:15 p.m.?
5:15 p.m. Pacific.
At 5:15 p.m., we have Sunday Night Football. Waiting all day for Sunday night. Pittsburgh and the Browns getting ready to fight.
Myles Garrett swinging helmets away. Mason Rudolph. I don't know.
Getting carried away.
Oh, man.
Because they waiting all day for Sunday night.
That was pretty good.
Hey, that was on the fly. What other podcast?
That wasn't that bad. I'll give you that. The Browns are going to Pittsburgh. We just saw this game in Week 17. We saw Rudolph at quarterback. We saw T.J. Watt out. I think Fitzpatrick didn't play, or he did play, but he played very limited. The Steelers didn't really play to win that game. They had a lot of defensive players sit and rest. So we're seeing this game again, this time in Pittsburgh, where the Steelers are 6.5-point favorites. What are you looking forward to in this matchup?
What I'm looking forward to is, can the Browns get Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt going? And is Baker Mayfield going to be the Baker Mayfield that we've seen of late? Him getting Jarvis Landry the ball, getting Rashad Higgins the ball, just taking care of the ball in general.
He's been so much better since Odell Beckham's been out.
How weird is that? Yeah, I feel like when Odell Beckham's been on the field, I feel like he feels that pressure of, I need to get this guy the ball because if not, he's going to throw a fit.
Completely agree. And Baker Mayfield has looked really good. To me, he's looked really, really good.
Yeah.
A big story in this game, the coaching staff, I believe head coach Kevin Stefanski did test positive for COVID. A couple of his coaches of the coaching staff were close contacts, so they're still waiting to see if they're cleared. Stefanski's a genius offensive mind, but if he cannot be there because of the COVID protocols, I think that's going to be a big blow to the Cleveland Browns.
I also want to see, too, if the Steelers are going to be the Steelers that came out in the second half against the Colts, where they were firing on all cylinders. In the first half,
getting pressure on Phillip Rivers.
Are the receivers going to be able to help Ben Roethlisberger not dropping balls, by being able to make those tough catches? Is he going to throw to Chase Claypool more? Because from what I'm hearing from a lot of Steelers fans, is that Chase Claypool, they wait too long to get him the ball.
Yeah.
So
you have the big playability of Deontay Johnson, and yes, he had that little stretch where he was dropping a lot of passes, but I feel like he's been getting back into the groove.
Right. He's been really reliable for them this season.
Yeah, except for that little stretch where he was dropping a lot of balls, but other than that, he's been really good. Like you said, Chase Claypool's been good when they give him the ball, so hopefully they get him the ball more often. And Juju Smith-Schuster, I know he's been quiet this season, but he's definitely somebody to keep an eye on.
Yeah, definitely.
Roethlisberger hasn't been able to get him the ball, but when he can, he's still Juju Smith-Schuster.
And do you think the Steelers are going to be able to get a running game going at all against the Browns?
I don't think so. I think the running game hasn't been effective all year long.
Right.
James Conner, Benny Snell, Anthony McFarland. They haven't been successful, so we'll see a lot of passing, I think, from Roethlisberger. See a lot of dump offs. I feel like the big matchup here is the defensive line for the Steelers against the offensive line for the Browns. Browns' offensive line has been really, really good this season. TJ Watt, probably defensive player of the year. He's been killing it, getting to the quarterback, putting pressure, stopping runs. He does it all. So really interesting to see, for me, to see if the Browns keep Baker Mayfield clean. I smell an upset in this game. I'm going to take the Browns +6.
The Browns +6. Wow.
+6.5. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going with the Steelers in this game.
Okay.
I don't think the Browns are going to be able to pull it out.
Okay. Cool. Going back and looking at the schedule. Remember, Saturday, 3 games. Colts Bills at 10 in the morning. Pacific, 1 o'clock Eastern. After that, the Rams Seahawks on Fox. Finishing it off with Buccaneers Washington on NBC. On a Saturday night, Sunday morning, we have the Ravens Titans. Bears Saints right after that. Browns Steelers. Let us know who you guys are going for, who you guys think are going to win, who you guys think will be the upsets. You know, from the picks, I think we have the Colts in upset. We have the Browns. I think we only have the Colts and the Browns. I have the Colts and the Browns as upsets. I don't think the Ravens are going to upset the Titans. And yeah, I mean, any other last comments you want to make on the wild card weekend?
I just want to say, Colt Nation.
Good luck to you and to your Colts. We'll be back in another podcast to talk about the national championship game happening on Monday, Ohio State against Alabama. And, of course, probably on Sunday night, we'll go over. Maybe we'll do a podcast on Saturday, podcast on Sunday, going over these games and over the results and giving you guys some commentary on what we saw.
Yeah, and feel free to give us some feedback. You know, see if they like these shorter type of podcasts or if they like them a little longer. We're always open to some feedback, guys.
Yeah, we really appreciate you guys watching this episode of the AA Sports Podcast on YouTube. Or if you downloaded it, thank you for downloading this episode of the AA Sports Podcast, and we'll talk to you guys next time.
Peace out, guys.